has been made in Canadian basketball. One hand down, all over the defense.
One-hand cockback.
Oh! Bringing the fans to their feet, putting a man in the rim.
Game 4 of 7. This is the 2:15 slot, 2:18, putting a smile on my face. Central Tech taking on Rothesay Netherwood School. We always like to talk about the game within the game. This is a good matchup in general, but yeah, the game within the game, the guard play in this one is going to be outstanding. Daniele Franceschi.
Two fantastic backcourts, and you start with Central Tech. You can't talk about the Blues without mentioning the senior guard, the point guard Raheem Sullivan, as he gets himself on the board, and of course DeAndre Reed back in the lineup. Did not play yesterday, was dealing with a little bit of an illness, was under the weather stemming from the holiday season. He's back in there today wearing number 0 and wired for sound today actually as well. And then you look at this RNS team, and they have a dynamic backcourt in Kellen Tynes and Shaheem Malcolm. This team will only go as far as those two guys will take them. And it's really going to be fascinating to see how these two teams match up. The challenge, of course, for RNS is where is that secondary production going to come from once we go past Kellen Tynes and Shaheem Malcolm.
Interesting to see right off the bat there too, another guy who we've seen kind of grow into his own, Lion McLean, number 4 for RNS, and you know, he was D'd up there by Raheem Sullivan. He's a guy who, no matter what happens in this game, he's going to grow as a player, you know, playing against one of the best guards that we have in the NPA and in the Toronto area.
And he was sharp yesterday.
Yep.
McLean, he made some big shots for them.
Oh. Wow.
He's just a handful. He's a handful.
Raheem Sullivan's first step is explosive.
And Shaheem Malcolm, oh, nice pass. But he's going to have a tough time going up against Ben Dummett, or excuse me, Jaron Jones.
Yeah. That was a dish off to Ben Dunnett there.
6'1" guard, and that was underneath.
And it's interesting because, I mean, you see Shaheem Malcolm at that guard position, like the wingspan is crazy. But, you know, so in the position that we're looking at Raheem Sullivan's point of view, staring down a Shaheem Malcolm wingspan, but you know, we don't have that first step that he has. He can nullify that wingspan with that first step.
And the one thing that Raheem Sullivan has, he's got a lot more experience than a lot of these guys on the floor. So he's a seasoned veteran. He's a guy that's been around and has played against a variety of different, you know, levels of competition and different types of players and guys who have different skill sets. So this is nothing new to him. This is not foreign to him, and he's prepared. And you know, he's having a terrific season.
Reed. Adeboboye, no good. Sending it back, Shaheem Malcolm.
We talk about that wingspan, and you saw it on full display right there. And it looks like DeAndre Reed's a little banged up.
Quick timeout here early on. 8-0 run to kick it off for Central Tech. Stay with us. We'll be back to Crestwood Prep.
Well, Central Tech, it's the historic look, that castle feel. It's a gauntlet. You walk past and you just, whoa, you look up, and the reputation that comes with it, it has that feel, it has that effect. Being in downtown Toronto, it is what it is. You're gonna get everything, right? So all the distractions are gonna happen, all the excitement's gonna be there, any little thing happens in school, it's newsworthy because you're a downtown school, right? So we have to get past all those distractions and focus in and dial in what we're supposed to do inside this gym. Do we play with a chip? We make it so.
We're a grit and grind team. Like, we're like underdogs. So like, we play like, even though we're up 20, we play like we're down 20.
We try to break the neck of the other teams. Once we have our foot on the gas, like, we try not to let go. If you're a hard worker, if you have nothing to lose, if you're gonna put it all on the line every night, then you could come play on Central Tech.
I'm praying that they take
Sorry to interrupt you, Kevin Jeffers, in the middle of your program feature there. He took a look at DeAndre Reed in there as well. He's found himself back on the bench pretty quickly. Actually, he's over to the side. You're right, Daniele. He seemed to have banged up one. Looks like his left knee, possibly. But Central Tech were fine yesterday without him. Not going to hang without one of their vocal leaders and senior veteran leaders.
And they're off to a good start. 10-0 run to start this game. Yesterday we saw them go deep into their bench and really have the luxury of getting guys some valuable minutes. No Matthew Daves, it looks like, again today. He is dressed. He was dressed yesterday. Did not play. He's been dealing with a little bit of an injury. This team not showing any ill effects.
I do love to see that head coach Marcus Eaton still basking in the glow. It was his first win as a head coach in the prep circuit.
He's enjoying it.
Well, he's sitting here front row cheering on his maritime brethren.
Well, he's deep into his phone now. I'm sure he's getting emails and texts.
The phone's blowing up. Marcus Eaton's phone is blowing up right now. Getting the congratulations. But he's here supporting his good friend Damian Gay, who's trying to, he's really said that he paid attention to what they went through last year and just trying to build his program after what Damian Gay has done with this Riverhawks club. Meanwhile, Central Tech is doing what they do, getting in the open floor.
Wow, they're pouring it on.
Caleb Sully, Carl English 2.0, the kid out of Newfoundland.
You see Damian Gay, he's starting to get into it now. One of the guys that they're going to need to step up is Shaheem Malcolm. They're going to need Malcolm to step up. They're going to need Tynes to step up. Ryan McLean, you just can't be too cute with it. And you can see Damian Gay right now urging his team to get back on defense in transition. We've seen too many runouts for this Central Tech team here in the early going. Quite the contrary to what we saw from Damian Gay yesterday. He was very calm, cool, and collected, showing some emotion here today in the early going.
I got a smile and I laugh and I joke outside of the game, but inside the game, I'm yelling, I'm screaming, and I'm fierce. And that's how we're developing right now.
Stop relying on what we did in the years past or the games past. It's now, yes?
And when we get to be that, tenacious group, that loud group, that aggressive group, great things happen.
That style and structure is making Central Tech a destination basketball school for players like Matthew Daves, who joined the Blues for his senior season.
I knew the coaches and I knew how their style of training was. And I thought that I'd fit in here well. It just brings up like a certain tone to how I'm doing everything. So like every single rep is more important now. Being Filipino, it's a bit different. Like people look at me a different way when I'm playing. They're not gonna see someone like me, like an Asian person, play the way that I play usually.
How do you play?
I'm in the air a long time, just to say that.
In Season 2 of the National Preparatory Association, Jeffers will look to his returning seniors to lead the team on and off the court, which also prepares them for the next level.
Me being the oldest,
We're back to the New Year Challenge, day 2 of 7. Sorry, thank goodness.
7.
Oh,
God,
it would just drive me nuts to try to schedule that. 4 days was tough enough. 21 games over 4 days.
And this is game 4 of 7, I believe, today, correct? We're in game 4 of 7?
Yes.
Central Tech, when they get numbers, they are so good at converting those fast break opportunities. And Kevin Jeffers likes to play fast, likes to play with tempo. Of course, a long-time head coach at Eastern Commerce and really established such a rich tradition and reputation over there. and now taking the helm of this Central Tech team.
Was that a nutmeg? I think Shaheem Malcolm actually went through the defender's legs with that one, but resulted in a turnover.
He did.
One thing I've found after being, we had last year's second session at Central Tech, been to some practices at Central Tech, watched games at Central Tech. Now we're here at Crestwood, and it's the same thing. Central Tech has a sound. They have a sound to the way they play the game. The way the rumble as they come down the floor, because everybody's in full stride. The constant talking, the Jeffers from the sidelines. There's a definite sound that follows this team when they play. I've just realized that now. You know when you're watching Central Tech play.
Oh yeah. You definitely know. There's a certain swagger that they have about them, and it's pretty evident from the moment you see them hit the floor. The type of team they are, where they come from, and one thing you look at Central Tech repping the Jordan brand. They're the only one. I believe it's them and Father Henry Carr, the only two schools in the province of Ontario that have, these Jordan brand affiliations. And there's a swagger, there's a history, there's a tradition, and even though I guess the program in and of itself is still growing in many ways, it has the perfect leadership core, and that personnel is going to really, I think, elevate them to the next level. They're a great program.
Yeah, and in working on that feature on the program, the question I asked all of them was, what does it take to be a Central Tech Blue? Because there are opportunities, like a Matthew Daves has been added to this squad, so there are opportunities where guys can come in and play their senior season or maybe earlier. Raheem Sullivan, another one that was added to the squad, and all of them said, if you're going to lay it all on the floor, you're going to check your ego at the door, you're going to grind it out and do whatever it takes to win, then you could be a Central Tech Blue. And it sounds simple, but not everybody can do all those things.
No, definitely not, because as we talked about yesterday as well, that's more of an old school mentality, and Kevin Jeffers has created, he has that cachet that allows him, that affords him with the opportunity and the privilege to be very tough on his players and to demand a lot out of his players. And that's part of and that's played into the fact that this team is very successful. That's the reason they're successful. Not every school, not every program has that ability, as Kellen Tynes does a nice job finishing there.
Well, and the other thing that Kevin Jeffers told me he does and can do is, one of his top players, DeAndre Reed, he'll go to him, verbally grab him by the scruff of the neck. Oh, count it plus the foul. Thomas Yoon. Wow. Sorry, just to finish off my thought, that's what Jeffers said is, he'll go at his top dog, the leader of his team, hold him accountable for whatever, whatever misstep might have been, and if he can do that, and he can, it's almost like in jail. You go with the top dog and gain everybody else's respect, and then DeAndre Reed, that trickles down, because then DeAndre Reed can hold other people accountable because he's being held accountable by his head coach.
Same goes with Raheem Sullivan.
Yeah,
it's a guy who's, like I said, he has a lot of experience under his belt, and when your coach is holding everybody accountable, top to bottom, your best player down to whoever it is coming off the bench and as a reserve, that whole attitude emanates throughout the locker room, and then the players hold each other accountable. And that's how you create a culture that is predicated on accountability and a commitment to excellence that everybody has to adhere to. So I think that's also part of it.
3:24 to go here in the first quarter. Got an 8-point lead for Central Tech. You kind of figured that the Blues were going to come out and try to punch the Riverhawks in the mouth in the early going, try to set the tone, but I think RNS has been able to take that punch, weather it, and they're now trying to figure themselves out, and they've cut it down to 6. And as you mentioned, it's going to be this backcourt
closeout
that really does it. And you also see that they're in the bonus, so the Riverhawks are going to go to the line for the rest of this quarter. You're going to want to see them take the ball to the rack, so let's see if they can follow that game plan. Ryan McLean says no.
And RNS has done a good job of weathering the storm. And if, you know, to your point, Jason, right now you're in the penalty. So if you get fouled, you have an opportunity to go to the free throw line. So if I'm Kellen Tynes, if I'm Malcolm, I'm being very aggressive. I wouldn't even want to settle for that, although he makes it. But you want to be very aggressive. You've weathered the storm. Now you can make a run. You have DeAndre Reed, Raheem Sullivan on the bench taking a breather. This is an opportunity to finish up the quarter strong. It's a 4-point game right now. Cut even deeper into this short deficit.
Central Tech going deep into their bench right now with those starters on the bench, or starters on the pine.
Wow.
Ooh, that's a tough finish.
And a general observation through three games and almost, 8 minutes into this quarter here, I think the quality of basketball today has been tremendous early on.
Absolutely.
I think it's been fantastic. I think yesterday we saw some sloppy basketball here and there. We had a couple really, really competitive games, especially in the latter half of the day. But certainly here this morning and into the afternoon, it's been some high quality basketball from all the teams.
Eugene Cancu with the hoop. First two is good.
And so Sullivan checks back in. Final couple minutes of the quarter here.
1:55 to go. Jack Fifield gets it into the lane. What a lazy pass. Raheem Sullivan, you cannot throw those passes when Raheem Sullivan's in the vicinity.
He's deceptively quick, very sneaky. Like we said, a veteran presence, and what do those type of guys do? They understand how to play the passing lanes. They know how to bait some of these passes, and he jumped it. It was a lazy pass, and he jumped it. So 1.1 on the shot clock here. A catch and shoot opportunity for RNS. Ryan McLean, maybe you're looking for him. You have Shaheem Malcolm, of course, he's a threat anywhere on the floor. We'll see what they draw up. A violation. Here comes DeAndre Reed back into the game for Central Tech.
I know.
The Blues victorious yesterday without Matthew Daves, who's still sidelined today, and DeAndre Reed, but this is a team that's going to be very dangerous come Nationals time because they have a lot of veteran guys. They're deep, and I think Kevin Jeffers understands that depth is going to be important. That's why you're seeing a lot of guys get minutes, some meaningful minutes.
Pull up. It's a guy you normally don't want to leave open.
It's a good strategy, though, because you're going to dare them to shoot it. They are, just physically speaking, they're well equipped to attack the basket and make plays happen off the dribble. So going with a zone look here, you're trying to just give them a different look, maybe throw them off a little bit, their timing and their execution, and see if they have a zone offense. A lot of these teams you see what type of zone offense they're trying to execute.
The only thing that you see sometimes with the Raheem Sullivan, sometimes he's so amped up, those passes are just uncatchable. Got so much zip on them.
He only knows how to go at one speed.
Yeah.
He's always locked in, and yes, patience sometimes, right? Patience and ooh.
See, there we go again.
Exactly.
Ooh, Sully almost jumped in for the steal there. That's a travel. Man, it's nice when you see a play and you think that's a travel and you hear the whistle following right after it. Officials have been solid here today.
Central Tech leaving the door open. They had a good start.
Well, this is the same as yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And Central Tech didn't put it away early. Man, Ryan McLean making a name for himself in the NPA. Pull up. Ooh, in and out for Sullivan. We got ourselves a ball game, folks. Tell your friends, tell your family. We're down at Crestwood Prep. Come check us out or just watch us online.
Responsibility on my back because coach, he tells me to always watch out for the guys, make sure everyone's good. Because after I leave here, coaches in other schools, they look at the kind of person you are off the court before on the court. They want to know what you could do in school. They want to know what you could do in a group of people if you're going to be communicating. All my friends back home, they really think I've changed a lot. And they said it's for the better too.
Coach Jeffrey is an amazing guy. He taught me a lot because he's been coaching me since young, been watching me play growing up, playing basketball at the community center. And he just been there for me. Changed me a lot because before I wasn't really doing the stuff that I need to do to go to the next level. Since I came here, I started getting the support, the help that I needed to succeed, school-wise and basketball-wise. He prepares me to be a man.
The good will follow the good, the bad will follow the bad. But if people see the good in you, they're gonna make sure and push you to that stream. Central Tech is labeled. It's no chance that I'm here trying to change that label, try to bring forward a better understanding of who it is and what the school is about.
He's mic'd up. He doesn't say anything.
No, don't do the Steven one. Don't do the Steven one. Don't do that. Don't do that. I actually talk.
You don't talk.
Yes, I do.
You're gonna fake talk.
Yesterday I was talking the whole game. My name's Raheem Sallin. I'm like for North Pole Hoops. Check it, man.
Second quarter action.
And the shot clock needs to be reset.
Do it again. We'll do it live. So right now we have RNS Central Tech following this game, probably right around the 4 o'clock hour. Crestwood will be taking on Halifax Prep, still riding their high from their first franchise win. Tarek Sabate will be on the call with Daniele Franceschi, who will slide over to the play-by-play position for that one. 5:45 CTA, who are in town. Tony House sent us a message to say the champs have arrived. He didn't say that, I'm saying it. Very humble man, that Tony House. He would never say something like that. He's taking on SJK, led by their head coach, Ahmed Al-Asta, out of the Kitchener area. Caleb Suley shouting out the Rock, the kid from Newfoundland. And again at 7:30, Toronto Basketball Academy taking on London Basketball Academy. If you're in the area, folks, $10 for a day, 30 for the week. If you want to come out, check the defending national champions. For $10, you can check out the defending champs at 5:45, and then watch two of the top teams in the NPA, TBA, LBA, right around 7:30. You can't get much of a better Thursday evening than that.
Things getting a little chippy there. DeAndre Reed involved in a bit of a scrum there as a jump ball was awarded. And the arrow in favor of RNS. Oh, nice.
Oh, send it back, Eugene Kanku. Oh.
Man. Wow, I wouldn't want to be going to the lane. Oh, wow.
I think some of these Riverhawks may think twice about it next time. Kanku's a guy we knew could provide quite a spark for this team. Hasn't done it as of yet, but I think he's starting to find his spot on this squad. You know, if Kevin Jeffers has you on his team, he has a plan for you. It may not be in every game, but he knows how he's going to use you. And Kanku was just used to clean the glass. Oh, Kellen Tynes running off a huge screen by Ben Dunnett.
Took a couple, but Malcolm able to tap it back home.
You hate to waste that screen.
Great strip.
Tynes has some of the best hands I've ever seen at his age. Oh! Kellen Tynes! Ben Dudek cleaning it up. Tynes won't get the assist on that, but that was beautiful.
Great vision. Great vision. Sees the floor so well. Made an excellent pass. Oh.
R&S is amped up for this game, even though their coach is sitting over there. Looks like he could have a margarita in his hand and his feet. I asked him after this game, I said, Coach, what's wrong? What are you talking about? I said, this is not in Ottawa. You didn't sit the whole time. He said, New Year's resolution, Jay. Calm, cool, collected, taking a sip from his water bottle.
Who knows what's in that water bottle?
I know. I know he's in this game, but he's just taking it at a different way. He's, absorbing it a different way.
He wants to instill some confidence in his guys.
Yeah.
Right? You don't need to look frantic. And
yeah. And there's a lot to be said about that.
And there's a whole conversation happening right now at the collegiate level, and all these pundits are talking about how John Calipari's a little too vocal, a little too aggressive, and he kind of, when you're dealing with freshmen and things of these nature, a guy who's supposed to be a veteran, but everybody's different.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Whoa, what? That's the second time that a Central Tech player has hung on the rim. And, Kevin Jeffers is not going to stand for that.
Here comes the sub.
There's no reason for that to happen. Wow, that is unbelievably great coaching. Didn't have to lay into him, didn't have to take him aside and grab him by the jersey, looked at him and said selfish.
One word, that was all that was necessary.
And that's what I love about this league too. Talking to Marcus Eaton away from the game a couple of times, and he understands what he's going to be able to take from watching these other coaches, and a guy like Kevin Jeffers is someone that he's watched and he can take something from. He knows the effect Ro Russell's had in the Ontario and Toronto area. He's taken things from him as well. As I've mentioned before, Damian Gay as kind of a maritime brethren opportunity as well. Kellen Tynes is amped up for this game. Kellen Tynes is using this opportunity as a measuring stick for him.
And it's this 2-3 zone that Central Tech has really struggled to break. They haven't been able to break through just yet. And here's another turnover.
Ooh, almost got it back.
And it hasn't been Shaheem Malcolm created thus far. It's been Kellen Tynes who's been pushing now in transition. He's going to get a look here from 3, but he's been doing a great job facilitating.
Oh, that was a big-time collision. This is fun. This is the level of intensity I want to see in every game. And so far today, we've had that in every game.
It must be the fact that it's Thursday, day 2. Teams came in yesterday, had an opportunity to get their feet wet, and now they're, coming back from the holiday season too, right? This is, now you're getting back.
Oh! Climbing the ladder and throwing down Naz Roberts.
Oh my
that was nasty.
Goodness. Wow, talk about gaining some momentum. That's like an 18-wheeler coming right into your living room. Wow.
We've got our first poster of the new year.
I guess it's appropriate to say then, Jason. Happy New Year.
Jim's buzzing. I hope we were rolling.
You can see the fans. They're getting in. Oh, yeah. We just had a gentleman sitting courtside turn over and say, we got to put that on the reel. That was nasty.
Saint Laurent behind us trying to see the replay.
Oh, man. Wow. Talk about catching bodies.
Still buzzing. That murmur in the crowd.
it created a tremor. Wanted to check in on the Richter scale. That was pretty close to an earthquake. Wow.
And back to game action. Ooh, Kellen Tynes, I don't know about that shot. Now, that got Damien Gay a little amped up.
You see him shaking his head there.
No, right after he said, Kellen, do what you do.
Yeah.
That's not what you do. You could do that if you're wide open off a play developing. Oh yeah, that was the 5 seconds.
He missed the cutter on the baseline coming towards the basket. He had him. That was the last option in that progression. He just wasn't looking there, trying to get it to Shaheem Malcolm before the 5-second count.
For all the good that he has done. Coach Slyman was on that loose ball, tied at 32. Let's catch our breath. We'll be back after a short break.
Oh, get him! Get him! Hey! Hey! Hey!
Is that a compression sleeve?
Pardon me?
Can I lift the short? So it's a legging, right?
Yeah.
It has to be above the knee. Above, it's supposed to be inside the shorts too. Above the knee. Not above the knee, they come off. They're tight. Above the knee.
You can't play like this. Shout out MPH, cameraman right there, you see me? Hey, get this jelly, get this jelly, get this jelly! Jelly! Do your dance, do your dance, do your dance. Hey, you ugly. Do your daddy, son, yeah. Go, boy. That's a dime. That's a dime. That's a dime. Oh, get in there, boy. Get in there, boy. Michigan, Michigan, Michigan. Woo!
Hey, rebound.
Oh, that's out. That's out. All right, good call, ref. Dime.
Well, everyone had a chance to go back on the live stream, check the replay of Nasty Daz Roberts spiking it home. But, I mean, for all the excitement, we're in a tie ball game at 32, and the Riverhawks are showing, you know, they're no longer here to take part.
Oh, no.
They're here to try to take over as the, you know, the winners, the representation from the Maritimes. They want to be that team. Wide open shot from Tariq Hamad, cashing it, 3-point lead for the Blues. There's Kellen Tynes.
Wow.
There's Kellen Tynes. There is Kellen Tynes.
And what did Damien Gay say there?
Do what you do.
Well, that's what he does.
That's what Kellen Tynes does. Sets the table, gets to the rim. I mean, he's got a shot too. He just doesn't have to look for it. Ooh. The other thing Kellen Tynes does, great finish. Great finish, Jaron Jones. You know, we've talked about iron sharpening iron. I'm seeing two teams here that are both elevating their game because of their competition. Caleb Suley, basket in the bump.
Wow, that got Damien Gay off of his seat. What a finish.
Really
a good aggressive take.
You know, Caleb Suley, as one of the veterans on this team, you know, said, you know, last year, our goal was to see what we needed to do to get better, and we arrived this year with that. And he's one of those guys. He put in some hard work in the summer, spent a week working out with Carl English back home in Newfoundland, you know, absorbed all he could. And you can see it, because, I mean, Caleb Suley, that guy's got a shot. And he's so proud, is Caleb Suley, of what we're seeing out in Newfoundland. And he just said, listen, you know, I know we're not there yet, but if you look at our under 15 group, we got some guys who can play, and we're not far away.
And he's a guy that yesterday didn't play very well.
No.
Struggled, but boy, he's been sharp today, and they've needed him. Oh, nice block.
Shaheem Malcolm
Swats that away, just like a fly.
Oh, so long. And like deceptively long, right?
Well, he's playing, you know, the one thing that I talked about yesterday, maybe he wanted to play with his hands active a little more, right?
Yeah.
But then you get that, and it's just, he's explosive.
Oh, nice pass.
Yes.
Kick out.
Yes.
What great ball movement. Richie McNeil cashing it. 2-point lead, RNS.
This 2-3 zone has been very, very disruptive. It's really disrupted the flow and timing for this CTA team, and I think they got bailed out there. It was a good defensive possession.
And I talked about it before. Kellen Tynes and Shaheem Malcolm have some of the best hands defensively. I mean, it's not that they don't foul, it's that they rarely foul. They're so good at getting their hand on the leather and not on the skin. Time and time again, Tynes upset now over on the end of that bench. I think he knows just how well he's played for this team. And being on the bench is killing him.
And what they do so well is they anticipate. Their anticipation, and that comes with the basketball IQ, having a high basketball IQ, good instincts, good awareness, and they possess those qualities, and it's just their ability to anticipate and get their hands into the passing lanes, and that allows them to be successful defensively.
Yeah, that was an easy charge call.
And the charge, saw that one coming from a mile away. Shaheem Malcolm a little bit out of control, turning the corner. But we're locked in a good ball game here. 3:30 left in the first half. Central Tech leading by 1 point. Nice steal.
Suley with the swipe. 1-on-3. Gets it back. Caleb Suley. Lost it.
Stood in there. That was Jackie Wu. Stood in there, took the hit. Didn't get the call, but could have gone either way, and the officials said, nope, we're not going to call that one. We're going to let him play on.
RNS starting to get a little lazy with their passes. Shaheem Malcolm, I cannot believe he attempted that dribble, and it was clean. He made it work. Great job. And you know, that got Damian Gay out of his seat.
Well,
First
you know
time
what?
today I've seen him.
He got rewarded. Jackie Wu, last possession, last time down the floor, didn't get the call. This time said, no, I'm still going to go in there. I'm still going to put my body in harm's way. Makes a hell of a defensive play.
And he goes to the bench. He came in to provide what needed to be provided. Shout out Fredericton.
Some terrific energy.
Central Tech up 3. Oh, nice. Oh, everything but the finish. Back the other way. Central Tech up 5. They're starting to get that Central Tech feel right now. Defense on a different level.
Oh, yeah.
Ryan McKenzie. This is a great one-on-one matchup.
Wow.
Nice moves.
Oh!
Ryan McLean. Something about these small guards that are just winning my heart in the NPA.
Thomas Union, great defense.
Yeah.
Better offense from Ryan McLean.
Big rebound, Fifield. McLean again. Finds Suley. Oh, that's his shot. That's the shot you want Caleb Suley to take. Ooh, big collision. Wow, did you see Fifield as he fell, still got a hand up clean on Rashawn Chambers? That's grinding it out.
Chambers not small either, 6'7", and to get a hand in there into the breadbasket, deflect that one away. That's a great defensive play. Nice pass. This is Sullivan penetrating late in the shot clock, able to dish it off to his backcourt mate, DeAndre Reed, and he's going to go into the line and shoot a couple.
What are we doing?
God, I love
basket. Wow. One ref was going to call one way, but he held back. It's funny, I was looking at the ref that held back. Well, if there's one thing I know that Damien Gay loves, it's his boys taking charges. Ryan McLean finds Sully. Missed from his last attempt there. Backs it back out. Finds Malcolm. Ball was deflected. They're going to get it back. Just 8 on the shot clock. 54.9 to go. Oh, McLean couldn't get that one. Look at Malcolm taking on 2 Blues.
Oh, I love it. Love the pursuit. Get in there! Shaheem Malcolm. No quit. Relentless in his pursuit of the ball, finishing through contact.
That you know, you want to talk all you want about a dunk and putting guys on posters. I mean, that's every bit as exciting as a spike.
I would agree with that.
He took on half the roster out there.
Well, you know, it was a broken sequence, and he fights for it. He gets it, battles through, and it's just absolutely. Oh wow.
Back the other way. Raheem Sullivan. If anyone's going to be able to silence a run, it's Raheem Sullivan. Going to the line. Looks like he's holding on to his rib cage a little bit out there too. Something to watch out for. Both he and Reed got banged up earlier in this game.
You see a little scuffle. Warnings being dished out on both sides. I think that's the way to go, if anything. I was going to say Damien Gay not.
Hey, I like the warning.
Oh, I'm fine with that. If it goes both ways, which it did, perfectly understandable and definitely warranted.
Sully up. He is not afraid of anyone. Caleb Sully is not afraid of anyone.
Wow.
And another charge. And look at Damien Gay. Check out the bench.
Look at Caleb Sully showing some emotion.
Jacked. I am loving this game right now. I want to have our own halftime huddle and halftime talk.
If you could bottle up all this energy, all this emotion, my goodness. And that puts Raheem Sullivan on the bench as well.
I mean, I love not having a dog in the fight. I love just, and that's the way I am with so many sports. I really don't have teams. I just like competition. And this is a perfect example. Ryan McLean with the rock.
Oh, this is it. That's
Malcolm.
Where he excelled. He excelled yesterday.
And
count it plus the foul.
the swagger on this team right now is something to behold, and I'm saying the word swagger not associated with the Central Tech Blues right now. We're talking about the crew out of Rothesay, New Brunswick. The private school is what I'm talking about. You know, these guys, their day goes from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. And getting on the road is a break for them. And they are enjoying every minute of their trip to Toronto. This first half has been an absolute treat. The Blues have a 1-point lead, but the momentum is on the side of the Riverhawks. Stay with us, a 5-minute break. We'll be back. Second half action.
Dime! Let's go, boy. Hey, man, get the ball, get the rebound and run. Now I'm coming in, I'm going in. That's a hit, boy. Allez.
Easing up on this end. What he's doing? Better, yeah?
Hey! Matt was there, though. Matt was there. No way, Matt, I got you. Oh, yeah, that's a dime. Oh, yeah, boy! Give me that. Hey, man, shout out Saga, East and West. Hey, no. These are red bottoms. These are blood shoes.
Let's go, beat him up on 3.
1, 2, 3, beat him up. Shot! Oh my God! I won, man. Oh, give me that. Hey! Good work. You should have used the spot. You can't be saying that. Gotta keep it rated R. Rated for everyone.
Speak English, bro. Speak English, bro.
Spin cycle! Get him, Craig!
That was in your back. Yo, Craig, it's the microphone.
The mic, bro!
You guys are a robot. You guys are a robot.
Hey, man, that's a nice dub in the books. You really do this, man. Am I off or am I still on?
I'm Kellen Tynes and I'm mic'd up for North Pole Hoops. Bad and boot, bad, cooking the dough with the ooze. Oh, yeah. To my dog. Woo.
We're going to play a lot of zone, so we need to beat it down the court. We can run all our sets against the zone. You just got to run to good space.
Done it. Ayo, bang into 30. I got middle. Dawson drop. Ben, see him. Don't let it get through there. Dawson drop.
Hey! Let's go, boy!
Ben, turn and sprint.
And one!
Go, let's go. Gotta warn it, that ball's in the air. Push somebody, box him up. Get the ball, or squeeze it.
We need to make sure that at one time, Kellen, you did the absolute perfect thing you've ever done since I met you. You stepped out, you tried to take up space. You weren't trying to take a charge, but you were trying to go and meet him. You accidentally went around it. Now you just got to close that gap a little bit better.
Yeah. Panther!
Hey! Turn up, Ben!
Don't run into him if he's there. Suds, wave him off. Box. You keep looking to pass. You got to look to
Quit
attack.
catching the ball right in the middle. Either be on
You got to get on that side or this side. Come on.
And one!
Let's go, Big Ben. Here, man.
Yeah!
Caleb, don't stand in the middle of the paint when there's a man wide open. Find him. Make sure we're loud. We up by 10. We go on a run right now. They'll be done. They won't want to play, man. Let's go.
Hey!
Good hits, boy. Listen, go. If transition's not there,
run back.
transition's not there, bring it out, run the offense. Stop forcing down low. Bang out! Hey! Turn up, boy! Good job, studs. There you go. 23. Hey, we gotta turn up. Suli, you gotta come on ready to play. Keep up intensity. Let's go, size. Your man's out there, but you need to go in and crash, especially if he's out there, because no one, you're battling with no one. You gotta get down there and fight. Hey. Try and get in front of the post when you post up, but don't foul. 2 minutes left. 2 minutes and 30 seconds, bro. We gotta grind.
Yeah, it's no more of not crashing anymore. Let's stop straight now. Let's go.
Come on, man.
1, 2, follow through.
Before we start off the second half, a little chat about Shaheem Malcolm, who, right now is matched up with probably his toughest matchup this season, and he's been impressive.
Oh, he's been very impressive, and right now, obviously, defensively, they're not necessarily going toe-to-toe, but going up against Raheem Sullivan in a matchup of two elite point guards, Shaheem Malcolm holding his own, and here's a guy who's averaging 23 points a game, nearly 7.5 boards a game, better than 7.5 boards per game, and he's the engine, and we talked about him being the straw that kind of stirs the drink, he and Kellen Tynes, but my goodness, the length, the explosiveness, the athleticism, it was on full display in that first half, and he's a big reason why this RNS squad is trailing by 1 to start this second half.
Caleb Sully, shovel pass. Done it, can't take care of it. The other big man, Dawson Sutherland, is out for RNS. Bodies are hitting the floor, I know.
They're talking about a guy who made a big impact in that first half. How about Nas Roberts? Oh. He caught himself a body and put a defender on a poster. Definitely provided a huge boost from an energy standpoint.
Raheem Sullivan battling through a bit of an injury to his rib cage right now.
I believe we have a foul there.
It's funny, I know Central Tech has come out fired up. If you were anywhere really inside Crestwood Preparatory School, you probably could hear the voice of Kevin Jeffers in the hallways talking to his boys. Not impressed with that first half, obviously. Shaheem Malcolm continues to impress.
And that's the one element of his game that he's going to continue to polish. He's going to have to add a polished jump shot, because if he can do that, then you got to respect his jump shot. That makes him that much more of a threat at the rim, which of course he's already a proficient finisher.
Kellen Tynes, who was mad at himself in that first half for getting into foul trouble, hungry to be back on the floor, trying to find his way to the ball, and now he has it at the top with 14 on the clock. Tynes back to Malcolm. Malcolm's gonna pull it. Front rim and out, done it, takes it off the shoulder. We're tied at 50. Eventually the Blues are gonna start getting the rolls on this end, and things are gonna change around. RNS is gonna have to weather that. Dunn got tripped up there.
I was just about to say, the guy with the basketball, it was Kellen Tynes before committing that turnover. The foul trouble, I mean, before sitting in most of the second quarter, he was dynamite for this team, and the Riverhawks desperately need him to stay out of foul trouble here in the second half and make plays, because he's an excellent facilitator, gets things going.
And this is what the Blues do. Speed everybody up, and there's who you would expect. We got a timeout, a quick 7-0 run. Timeout for the Riverhawks.
We've traveled across the country and back. 6 years running. Canada's basketball talent blossoms right before our eyes. From coast to coast. It's our job to bring it to the light. No gimmicks, just hard work on the hardwood. Who will step up to the plate this summer? Who will make their game? undeniable, and challenge every man in front of him. Game will speak.
NPH Scouting Service. The NPH Scouting Service is another platform for exposure with a network of over 300 coaches and scouts from some of the most recognizable brands and programs. Our scouts are constantly evaluating talent to ensure accuracy and credibility.
Quick 7-0 run leading to the timeout for a Rothesay Netherwood school. Shaheem Malcolm finds Caleb Sully. Here's a good way to end the run, but Sully can't drop it. So this is what happens. Central Tech always bounces back. Much like the beginning of this game, I use the phrase punching you in the mouth. It's the same thing right now. They've come out in the second half doing the same thing. But how will RNS be able to weather this storm?
They start fast, and you know, we saw RNS was able to weather that storm in the first half. In the first quarter, they were down, I believe, 9-0 it was, or 10-0. It was a quick start for Central Tech, and then the Blues kind of faded away, and just the consistency for them wasn't there. And then afterwards, you have the Riverhawks who were able to turn things up a notch. And the one thing that's for certain with this RNS team, there's no quit in this group. They're a resilient group, and as we saw in that first half, they're going to battle, they're going to fight, they're going to scratch and claw, they're going to find ways to put the ball in the basket and make a run of their own. Oh, wow. Contested and all, but what a finish.
Alley-oop to Caleb Sully. I didn't see that coming.
Floater, no good. Good rebound. Kellen Tynes now.
Oh, there's a shiny dime, and it's Naz Roberts on the cleanup. 9-point lead. That, man, everybody reacted on that one.
A bit of a delayed reaction, but the officials get it right.
I think all the officials were waiting for the other officials to call it. Everyone knew it was a goaltend.
Absolutely. And it's funny to see that, but if we look at Central Tech, Kellen Tynes drawing the assignment right now. Tariq Hamad is guarding him defensively, and through the first few possessions of this third quarter, he's done an excellent job against him. Might have been a halftime adjustment because obviously Kellen Tynes was having a lot of success in the first quarter and a half before being forced to the bench with some foul trouble.
Charge called.
Stood in there and took it on the numbers.
DeAndre Reed, that's where you want to see him. And that's why that's where you want to see him.
Well, DeAndre Reed by no means, I mean, he's 6'6", but in some settings, that's not a huge size advantage. Yep. But when you're playing against a smaller team like RNS, they're trying to nullify that lack of size by playing the 2-3 zone. When you get a guy like DeAndre Reed who has guard skills and you put him down inside, he can turn, make a move, and you see he's been very effective here in the third quarter, generating some easy offense.
The lead's at 9. Shaheem Malcolm into the corner. Malcolm gets it back. Spins to the baseline. Stepped out of bounds. You just kind of get this feeling right now that RNS is kind of walking that edge of seeing this one just slip out of their grasp. They need a stop and a basket. And the way Central Tech is playing right now, it's their style. Wow, You know, the one thing, Tynes, I've talked about his hands, also the English he can put on the ball.
That's, I mean, exactly.
That's a skill, right?
Talk about the touch. And, you know, he's on the left side, finishes with his right hand, able to just get enough on it to grace it over the rim and put it in. That's tremendous skill.
I was just saying, it was right on the edge. RNS got a basket, now they got to stop. If they can get one more hoop here.
Right back in it.
Right back in it, and they've weathered that storm. They spent the first half of this third quarter.
Good call.
Yeah, very good call. Caleb Sully representing Newfoundland, representing the Rock. In your living room, finds Kellen Tynes, Halifax native.
I like this decision by Kevin Jeffers to go a little bit smaller, and you know, if DeAndre Reed is considered small, but playing him, you know, it's more of a free-flowing system, and you see, boom, he's more active on the defensive end than some of the other bigs, and then he's able to get it done on the offensive end of the floor as well.
Leads up to 10.
And DeAndre Reed forced, you know, to miss some time in that first half. He's dealing with a bit of an injury. Obviously didn't play yesterday. He's still trying to find his footing again. It looks like he's finally gotten comfortable here, but I think his biggest impact, aside from catching it and doing what he's doing right now, is defensively. You throw him up there and he can guard the pick and roll with ease because he's comfortable moving in space. So he's not a traditional big, and nor is he even a big, to be honest. He's just playing, you know, with some versatility right now.
Wow, Shaheem Malcolm. Look at, you know, we've seen it time and time again, and we talk about the second jump when it comes to forwards a lot of the times, but he provides that from the guard position as well. It seems often he's just trying to get it up on the rim because he has the ability to get right back up there and get his own rebound consistently.
I like the way Kevin Jeffers is coaching his guys. I really do. I think, you know, here's a guy who obviously has an illustrious coaching resume, but on top of that, he's got the respect of his players, the respect of his peers, of fellow coaches, of the basketball community as a whole, and that gives him the room to kind of move and as DeAndre Reed hits that shot, to have the comfort level to coach his players, to really get into them when necessary. He's got that ability to do it because he's committed. He's established that relationship with them.
And here we go again, Tariq Ahmad on the run. Sorry, that was... I called the play before it happened. That was Tariq Ahmad finishing it off. Off the dime from Khalid Ismail.
That's all hustle right there.
Again, Thomas Yoon. You know, this is the type of stuff that, you know, is going to make Kevin Jeffers happy. Is these guys who you don't talk about all the time coming through when maybe the rest of the guys, the usual suspects, aren't doing what they normally do. Having said all that, I think DeAndre Reed has been solid in the second half, kind of from that high post area. And again, Raheem Sullivan is definitely dealing with an issue to his rib cage there. So it's going to have to be these other guys 100%. To get it done.
And it's just, this team has not missed a beat. I mean, look at them come out in this third quarter, and they've been, you know, they've been able to roll a few different guys, get guys in and out, and they've been rock solid on both ends of the court so far.
Tynes getting to the baseline, nice little floater, so smooth, so calm, Kellen Tynes.
You know, RNS sticking with it. This is their strategy. They're sticking by it, standing by it, playing the 2-3. And it seems like Central Tech has kind of found a recipe for success in terms of breaking down this 2-3 zone. There have been a lot of, you know, obviously with Reed operating in the high post area, but getting the ball, moving it side to side, and then, you know, really driving it in along the baseline, creating easy opportunities, hitting him in the high post, and here he is at the line.
Central Tech has pushed this lead back up to 13. That RNS swagger has slowly dissipated. But again, come back rather quickly, especially now with, and this is where we saw it, right? Reed and Sullivan both on the bench now. That's when we saw it happen in that first half.
If you make a couple shots, get a few stops, and then put yourself in a position come the fourth quarter, hopefully you get this deficit under 10, get it to single digits. That's got to be the goal at this point. Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Kellen Tynes.
He split a pair of defenders, finessed his way around another that was looking to draw a charge, finished with a nice kiss off the window.
Great body control. And I mean, remember, like Kellen Tynes, he's a class of 2020. Like, this is a guy who just won a national championship with his provincial team as an under 17. So there's a lot of room for growth with this young man.
He's a leader.
Yep.
I like that about him.
There'll be some things that we need to see. We need to see him clean up on that leadership, and again, it comes with that age, right? How to talk to guys.
Sure.
But no, I 100% agree. He's always the first one there to kind of explain what he's looking for. He doesn't just get angry and kind of hold it in. Where I find sometimes I think Shaheem Malcolm needs to talk a little bit more. And maybe, we were talking about the Denzel Cummins, Jalen Warren, rubbing off last season. Maybe we're going to see that same thing here with Shaheem Malcolm and Kellen Tynes.
Absolutely. With Malcolm, that's exactly it. He sometimes a little, come across as being too reserved at times. Kellen Tynes, it's, you carry yourself a certain way, and at the end of the day, the one thing that, his teammates and anybody watching, you certainly can't dispute just how hard he plays and, what he brings to the table.
Well, you need your best players to be your leaders.
Exactly. And I think that's especially true at this level, where the gap in age is so small that we're not talking about pros, right? We're not talking about, you could have a 30-odd-year-old veteran who can be a leader, and he might not play a lot, right?
Yeah.
And I think of a guy like Kevin Durant, Paul Pierce at the tail end of their careers, but those are guys who had that fire. They were natural-born leaders. At this level, you need to have your best players be your most vocal and charismatic individuals, guys who can rally the troops. You need that.
Well, once again, we've seen the Central Tech Blues use a third quarter.
Here comes
Raheem Sullivan back into it, but we've seen these Blues, turn a close game at halftime into a double-digit third quarter lead. That's just kind of what they do. And I don't know, we've talked a lot about Kevin Jeffers, but the only thing that happened in that 5 minutes at halftime was a conversation from the coach to his players. That was the only difference that was made. And obviously, changes from a strategic standpoint. Those are the only two things that changed. So if you can't put this third quarter on Kevin Jeffers, you got a problem.
Guys, he's done a great job. I mean, he goes in at halftime, team's up 1, lucky to be up 1.
Yeah.
And they had a good start, and then they were dismal for the rest of that half. He goes in there, gives them that rallying cry, and then I think just from a strategic perspective, a tactical standpoint, comes out. We see them going with the full court man-to-man pressure. What that does is it's gonna take a toll on Kellen Tynes and Shaheem Malcolm, and he understands that there's only two guys here that are gonna be the ones carrying the ball, initiating the offense. If you fatigue them, it takes a lot out of you to do that every possession. And secondly, that zone, finding the zone buster, DeAndre Reed putting him in that high post area. I mean, it's just worked to perfection.
Really liked the Shaheem Malcolm curl off that inbounds play there. He cleared that up all himself, got himself freed up purely by his own basketball IQ there. Very impressive.
Hey! The
Off
bank is open.
glass. Caleb McKinnon. This guy's a shooter. He can get it done in a number of different ways. Stroking it off glass. That leads up to 15. This is Central Tech Blues basketball, following the blueprint, if you will.
Oh, pretty basketball right there. Just couldn't convert, but smart.
Ryan McLean threw an elbow. Wow.
That makes things interesting.
Yeah, he threw an elbow at Naz Roberts.
Got away with it.
Yep. Sorry, at Eugene Kanku. Got away with it. Saw the time was wearing down, pulled up. And Kanku was probably a little bit upset about catching that elbow. Just overcommitted to the shot. 3 shots at the free throw line, but you gotta cash them. Gotta make them count.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Missing 2 of 3 gimmies at the end. That hurts. 14-point deficit. RNS is what they're facing. We'll be back in a minute. Franco Miller with the spike. Oh no, Franco Miller.
They're barking. They're starting to bark.
Yeah. On time, on target delivery, piping hot. Shiny dime. Franco Miller. We're live. 14-point lead. Oh. Shaheed Malcolm just wanted something to slap. Found a chair.
I couldn't get that one to go, and
It's about
just
as
spilled it.
demonstrative as you'll get out of Shaheed Malcolm right now.
I think that's the most you'll get out of Shaheed Malcolm.
I mean, I think RNS still's got a run in them.
I agree.
In this fourth. It's just a matter of how much of it they have. And I mean, now's the time, right? No DeAndre Reed, no Raheem Sullivan.
100%. This is definitely the time for them to put the pedal down on the metal and try to fight their way back into this one. And I mean, you know, Shaheed Malcolm hasn't come off the entire game. He hasn't taken a seat. And Kellen Tynes, you know, likely would have had the same fate hadn't he been in some foul trouble earlier in the ball game. But these two guys have been very fun to watch for the first couple of days of this 4-day session here at Crestwood Prep.
Again, we're at York Mills in the DVP. We still have 3 more games to go after this one. Crestwood and Halifax Prep up next, and the defending champs at 5:45, Canada Top Flight Academy taking on SJK out of the Kitchener area. And then we have Toronto Basketball Academy versus London Basketball Academy. That is going to be an outstanding game.
Oh, I never like to see that. It might have been a wet spot. He slipped a little bit there in the corner. Yeah, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
And that's for Sean Chambers. It looked like he was a little shaken up when they're going to check it out now. But the champs are coming to town. CTA rolling in from Ottawa with the title in tow. And they're coming down to announce their presence, undefeated currently this season, and off to a great start, of course, in defense of their championship. They take on SJK, their first game of the weekend. And a marquee event, a marquee contest later on in the week is Central Tech's going to have a shot at CTA. A very talented Central Tech team, and I'm sure Kevin Jeffers hopes he's going to have his team at full strength for that one and get Raheem Sullivan, Matthew Daves, healthy DeAndre Reed. That'll be a big game for sure. But it's been a lot of the bench guys, the reserves, the depth of Central Tech that has really stood out in this contest thus far. You see a lot of guys making a significant impact off the bench. Great hustle there. Kellen Tynes loses it. Eugene Kanku applying pressure, and it's Central Tech that's going to secure possession. Good move. Just unable to get it to go there was Thomas Yoon. Lion McLean. Not afraid to shoot that one. Didn't take time either. Didn't take too long.
Thomas Yoon trying to bring it back. McLean gets it back. It's an 11-point lead. Just over a minute into this fourth quarter. RNS are going to need to spend this entire quarter trimming into this lead. Ben Dowell, he's got some size. He's got the left, and he's got 2.
He's very good with his left hand, and he's shown that extensively over the past couple days.
Ooh, Caleb McKinnon, not used to seeing him there.
Well, Jason, it's down to singles.
Oh, watch out, heads up.
It's down to singles with about 8.5 left.
No, I was saying heads up, Jackie Wu's on the floor.
Oh, baby.
You know that you're going to get some solid screen set.
Absolutely.
And he's going to try to take a charge on you.
Oh, yeah.
There he is. To Malcolm. Malcolm on to the other wing. And there he is, Jackie Wu doing all the little things. Offensive rebound. Kellen Tynes gets it in, stops the clock, go to the line to shoot 2. RNS, is really starting to find their recipe for success, and we saw it go according to plan through the first 2 quarters, and now here in the fourth, trying to get back to it.
They're going to continue to play through their backcourt duo of Kellen Tynes and Shaheem Malcolm. And yesterday we spoke at great length during their game about needing to get some secondary scoring from somewhere. And yesterday it was Lion McLean who contributed a little bit, and they're still in need of that third complementary piece, a guy you can lean on. And it's a case where you look at Central Tech and they're just so deep, where the luxury of having so many guys and so much versatility, that could be the difference in a ball game. And for RNS, that's what they need to find right now.
Oh, nice find. Yoon can't get the finish. people all over the glass. Both these teams want this win. Tynes picks up his dribble. Back to Malcolm. 14 on the shot clock.
Here comes DeAndre.
No.
Oh, good pass.
Very nice pass. Gets it back this time. Front rim and out. Weak side rebound.
Yeah, we haven't seen Caleb Sully in a while.
No, we haven't.
And he was obviously on fire in that first half, and a big reason why RNS was able to mount a bit of a comeback and make a surge, get it down, the deficit down to 1 at halftime. And he's just been relatively quiet here in the second half. Maybe he's a guy that comes in here in this fourth quarter, provides a bit of a spark.
Oh, you live with that shot all day if you're RNS. Yeah, I saw Malcolm was going to have that pocket picked.
Yeah, it just took one too many dribbles there. Could have collected himself or even pulled it back out and just tried to set something up.
Ryan McLean pulled the trigger but missed his target.
Oh, I didn't see a foul there. And going on Shaheem Malcolm. Must have been following the initial shooting motion because Jackie Wu was in great defensive position. Oh, here comes Caleb Sui.
Yeah, when you were talking about him, I was looking over, and I don't even think he was sitting down. I think he was he was elevated on his hands. Like he wasn't fully in the seated position because he was waiting. He was just looking down the bench at his head coach, waiting for the call.
And Shaheem Malcolm's gonna take a breather. He's gonna get a bit of a blow. He's obviously not too thrilled about that.
Well, he got that. I think he had that foul call against him. I think his head coach was petitioning to get it on Jackie Wu, but the refs weren't biting on that one. That's exactly who gets the ball is Caleb Sully. Just bad luck on that one.
Bit of a delay call there.
Yeah, again, sometimes I feel like it's the follow through of the block.
DeAndre Reed at the line. He's had a very productive day, especially at the charity stripe. He's been very effective getting inside, getting to the paint. Helps when you're 6'6".
Yeah. Oh, that wasn't an over the back. That was just a straight rebound into the mitts.
Nice.
Yeah, see, DeAndre Reed's the emotional leader to this squad. That's exactly what he's trying to do. Getting in the defensive stance, trying to protect this 12-point lead. Man, Kellen Tynes, the court vision on this kid is on another level.
Good vision. Excellent vision, great pass, good finish, Caleb Sully.
And it's obvious, it's Sully who's becoming his favorite target, and I think Sully is so good at his off-the-ball cuts. And it's a perfect example of a player making another player better. Ooh, picking up your dribble
pass.
in that area is terrible. Yeah,
Nice.
Tynes didn't want to pick up the foul on that.
Nope.
But Damian Gay wants a timeout for his squad. 12-point lead. Central Tech in control. 5:24 left.
NPH events. There's an opportunity to get involved at the ground level. NPH hosts elite level high school tournaments to national club team championships throughout the course of the season. Now is your chance to get involved with the fastest growing sport in Canada with the industry leaders and influencers. Get in the game today and join NPH in growing basketball in this country. NPH Scouting Service. The NPH Scouting Service is another platform for exposure with a network of over 300 coaches and scouts from some of the most recognizable brands and programs. Our scouts are constantly evaluating talent to ensure accuracy and credibility. NPH Scouting Service. The NPH Scouting Service is another platform for exposure.
Rep by rep. You push yourself. Effort is only half the battle.
86-74, the Central Tech Blues led by just one at the half. Leads up to 12 now. RNS are just trying to keep the wheels on the car right now.
Here comes Shaheem Malcolm getting set to re-enter the ball game.
That was just a strong move by Eugene Cancu.
One thing I gotta point out and give some credit to Kevin Jeffers. All of his guys are ready to play.
Yeah.
There's not one guy who we've seen come into this ball game or even yesterday, enter the game and not be prepared, mentally prepared to play. And I think, that sometimes, it's something simple that might be vaguely recognizable, might get overlooked, but, good on him and his staff for always having all of these guys engaged, all of them ready to play.
We haven't seen Matthews Daves as he continues to nurse an injury. I also wonder if, knowing that they have 2 more to go in this session, if they're trying to, it's an opportunity to play your other guys in high-level competition and then possibly save a guy like that for later in this session.
Well, there's one game he certainly has circled on the calendar.
Yeah.
And it's coming up against CTA this weekend.
And they still got a tough one against Beast tomorrow.
No, that's obviously no slouch there in Beast Prep, and they've been rounding into form. Earlier today playing well, yesterday playing well in their second game of the day. But there's that one big game, obviously they want to make a statement. Yeah. They wanted CTA, and they're going to get them.
You need every point right now. And Central Tech seems very confident in what they need to do on this end of the floor. Adebaboye, a name I have not said since I believe the opening minutes of the game, and he checks back in and checks in with a trifecta.
And that's what he does. That's what he brings to the table. Yesterday we're on a bit of a sharp shooting spree, and hitting a triple there.
Wow, Lion McLean just willed that one over the front of the rim. Keeping them in it.
They're hanging around. 4 minutes left, trailing by 12. The key is get a couple stops.
Yeah, see, we talked about flash with substance, and I don't think Reed needed to use any type of flash on that pass. Yeah, Malcolm just could not get the roll. And there's DeAndre Reed doing what DeAndre Reed does.
Delay a game there. Should have been a delay of game warning.
Yeah, I go back and forth on that rule.
And I'm with you on that.
Because 2 things. It's so hard to get something out of the game that is just built into you in every aspect of basketball. Pickup games, 21, all, you know what I mean?
Well, even when you're playing defense, if the ball goes to the basket, you got to retrieve the ball and make a play.
So offense, defense, like it's just built into you that that's what you do. And then beyond that, like, okay, if you needed to implement that rule, if you know, final 2 minutes, final minute, although here's an idea, final minute, first time you do it, you get a warning. And then the second time you want to call a tech, you get a tech, fine. But to call a warning 5 minutes into the game, and then
that might come back to bite you.
Yeah, 30 minutes later, you're like, what? What did I do? Yeah. Oh, I've already done that once. Oh, and I did. You know,
it's a silly rule. And how many times it happens inadvertently, or how many times the officials just miss it and maybe they don't see how the ball was deflected, and it's just one of those that's a gray area. Yeah. It's a 50-50 call, right? And it's just you know, it could throw off a team's entire momentum. It's unnecessary.
Ooh. I was going to say, tough place to put a pass, but I guess if it's a little bit of a shorter player, it's not as bad. 2:38 to go, 16-point lead. Central Tech looks to be in control of this one. Stay with us.
Pangos will shoot another three, his third triple already.
I'm a retired teacher. I coached at a whole bunch of different levels throughout the player delivery system in Canada. Involved myself at the provincial level as head coach of Team Ontario from 1994 to 97. Coached at the university level, University of Guelph for 7 years, high school coach, and I'm now an author. And I'm an author of a book called Can't Miss, a story about Kevin Pangos. But the angle that I'm bringing about the book is that I'm a basketball coach who wrote a book. So the delivery of the book encapsulates everything that's Canada basketball is all about.
Bembry handling it, cross court to Pangos for three, and Kevin knocks it down.
I read a book called Outliers, and it talked about why people need people around them to take advantage of in order to succeed at the highest levels. That same summer, Kevin was chosen as the youngest member of the national team. Kevin might be an outlier. Kevin was playing for A-Game Hoops.
96-80. Lawler's Law says first team to 100 wins. Almost always stays true. Daniele, quick hands to my right. Good thing he protected me.
I got your back, partner.
Turtled. Nice passing. Better defense. That Central Tech sound, the thumping of the sneakers on the court. The communication is strong. Kellen Tynes getting bumped, go to the line to shoot two.
Shaheem Malcolm comes off the floor for the final 2 minutes or so.
Yeah, I mean, RNS, this is just their second game of the tournament. They got St. Laurent tomorrow morning. That's a Northeast Division matchup, and that'll be the first time that they've played each other this season, because I know they'll be playing in the mini session that we have in St. Laurent, and then RNS as well play on the final day.
And that's a big game for those two teams tomorrow morning, because you're looking at two teams that right now, if the score holds up, will be winless this weekend. And for St. Laurent, still searching for their first win of the season. And so there's going to be some extra incentive, as we saw earlier today as well, with Halifax Prep picking up their first win in program history. And they're going to be back in action after this one, trying to make it number 2.
RNS also has a game on the final day as they take on SJK. That's a very well matched up game. Yep. They both have size but then both of them have guard play with size as well. Like, a very, very intriguing matchup, actually. And, you know, 2 winnable games left on RNS's schedule, and considering how well they fought in the first half of this one, they should feel good about their chances the remainder of this session, as they went winless up there in Ottawa. You know, their 2 wins this season came against Halifax Prep as they played a home-and-home to start off the NPA season at the end of October.
Well, you know what? They played really well today in this game here, but against Central Tech, and a very talented Central Tech team. So to see them come up short, it's unfortunate, because they were in it, trailing by 1 at halftime. You know, it was there to be had. So it's just about execution down the stretch, and they weren't able to make the necessary adjustments in the second half to put themselves in a position to, you know, to be in this one down the stretch.
Caleb Sully, who was incredibly effective in the first half. And done it and won. And this is what I like about this RNS team. I mean, they know they're down big in this game. They're probably not coming back, but, you know, done it, get that and won. The coach, the bench, everybody was excited about that play. I mean, they do, and again, I think this comes from what they went through last year without picking up a win. They really do appreciate every possession, every quarter, every play.
Oh, you can see it. I mean, they fight for every loose ball. They're that team that makes all the gritty plays. They're making all the hustle plays.
And they're still chanting defense right now, and, you know, in the final minute, down double digits. And there's
how about that one?
Craig Strangways. Ooh, DeAndre Reed. I mean, there's no quit in Central Tech either, man. You know, they're up 13 in the final minute, but they're not pulling back.
Exactly.
So again, we got a game coming up after this one. I'm going to guess it's going to tip off around 4:08.
Is that your guess?
That'll be my guess. That's Crestwood Halifax Prep. I did get word that Jaron Johnson will not be in that game, but
wow.
You want to talk about, again, another subplot, and I know you and Tarek will be able to take it from there in that game. You know, a lot of people are going to be looking at what Brandon Muntu can do against high-level competition.
He's opening some eyes.
But now he's got to take on a Crestwood squad that have, you know, the top dogs at that position in this league. So that's a big subplot in that game. And then again, CTA, SJK, and TBA, LBA will finish off our schedule today.
And that'll be a real test coming up for a very interesting, intriguing Halifax Prep squad, obviously fresh off their first win of the season. We'll see what they could make of it, going up against Jacoby Neef and company.
DeAndre Reed did a lot in this game. Mic'd up as well. Sure, that will be interesting. Would love to hear that Kevin Jeffers halftime speech, but don't know if we'll be able to get that cleared for NPH usage. 102-91 is your final. Central Tech takes out the Riverhawks. We've had some outstanding basketball. It's going to continue in about 10 minutes time. Stay with us. Tarek Sabate along with Daniele Franceschi will be taking it for the next one.